I've mentioned the squad attack battle drill a lot of times because it's very versatile, but let's go through it a little bit more detail to really iron out some of the minutia. Now, naturally, being a battle drill, it's set up so that we can apply it to a lot of different situations, and it can be very hastily planned in just like a few commands, or it can be very deliberately planned. So let's say in this situation, we're doing a movement to contact, and suddenly we take contact from the front, and we lay down heavy suppressive fire with our supporting element. Squad leader comes up and says, yep, go ahead, support them from this location. Fire team and machine gun team laying down heavy fire. We have fixed and suppressed the enemy. Now he's going to take his other fire team, and we are going to flank. These guys are going to come around over here, and they're going to get into a flanking position. Now, this is what we've talked about so far. Support by fire, flank, assault, makes sense. This is fairly straightforward stuff. But this is where it really gets hard, right? Because it's not just, suppress, assault, and everything like that. You need to make sure you don't shoot your friendlies, right? Because you're about to assault through, and very quickly, as you start to assault through it, you're going to be getting into this suppression area, and you can get shot. So the squad leader needs to have really good fire control techniques, and he needs to initiate the assault and let these guys know that they are going to assault so that they can start shifting fire. The first thing is to shift fire, and he will command, shift fire via radio. Maybe it's a whistle. Maybe it's a pen flare. A lot of different ways that you can go about doing it, but you have to signal something so that these guys can start shifting their fire so that when you start assaulting through, then you're not getting suppressed by your own guys. So they can move through and eliminate the enemy as they go. And eventually the squad leader will call lift fire. Now, this is important. Lift fire does not mean ceasefire. Lift fire typically means that you raise your aim of fire. So you're shooting over the enemy. We talked about in our suppression video how bullets are, supersonic. They will still have that ballistic crack, and they will still have a suppressive effect, even if the bullets are not impacting right in their faces, right? So lift the fire a bit so that the enemy can get even closer while they're still suppressed. And then eventually the assaulting team will get to the other side, and they will call LOA, which means limit of advance, right? LOA is their cue to cease fire. And then at this point, the enemy should all be dead or at least neutralized on the objective. Now, once they have called LOA, these guys are going to do their own assault, and they are going to bound forward, pushing past, and they are going to be, clearing bodies. They're going to be making sure that everything's actually dead on the objective, right? Now, once they get to their limit of advance over here, now we're going to reconsolidate. Squad leader makes sure that everybody gets good security. Machine gun team goes where it needs to go. And everybody has good 360 security on the objective. Then you can go into your special teams with which you're maybe taking care of casualties with your aid and litter team, maybe doing demo on enemy equipment, searching enemy prisoners of war, or just the bodies in general. All the stuff that needs to happen on the objective before you can get up and move on to the next objective, right? So like I said, squad attack, very straightforward in the sense that it's, support, assault, 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 but you need to make sure that you have those control measures in place, because if people don't know when they're supposed to shift fire, when they're supposed to lift fire, things can get very, very hairy very, very quickly. So be careful, plan accordingly.